Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to TravelMole broadcast. I'm delighted and I'm happy that I'm surrounded by people from Central Florida today. We have 5 very key stakeholders in that tourism area. We have Brian, we have Kelly, we have Erica, we have Ray, and we have Archie. Now, I would like to go to each one of them and talk a little bit about their businesses. So I'm sure you, as being someone in the travel industry, would like to know a little bit more about what Central Florida's actually got to offer. So Archie, let's go to you first. You're involved in citrus fruits. Tell me, what can I do if I come and visit you?
Well, we're an also cattle operation that's been here in Central Florida for over 30 years. And we grow our own citrus. So people can come here, they can buy fresh oranges, grapefruit, tangerines that are grown right here in Central Florida. But we also make fresh squeezed orange juice, tangerine juice, grapefruit juice, and we even make orange dream ice cream out of our citrus. So we've really become a pretty good destination for people. We're an open air outdoor market. So it's been a really popular place for people to come with all the pandemic issues going around. But we also offer U-Picks. We grow blueberries and peaches, and it's an exciting place.
Excellent. Now, Raymond, you're the man at the Dude Ranch. Is it right to call you a Florida cracker, or have I got my terminology incorrect?
Yes, sir, that's correct. That's what the first American cowboys were known as, cracker cowboys. We have a 1,700-acre resort right here in the middle of Central Florida. As Mr. Archie said, a lot of folks don't associate Central Florida with cowboys, but there's a lot of agriculture. We are the birthplace of the American cowboy. We celebrate that here. We have a professional rodeo every Saturday night and an array of activities for guests to come as they spread out on our 1,700-acre property: trap and skeet shooting, airboat riding, swamp buggy riding, just an array of activities to keep you busy. And one thing that we started back in 2015 that's just exploding is glamorous camping, glamping. We have glamping tents. We have deluxe teepees. They have fireplaces in them, leather furniture. And early February, we're going to be opening up Conestoga wagons as another one of our glamping experience. And tree houses are on the way. So we're a place where you can experience the history of Florida, celebrate the American cowboy, and have one of the most unique vacation experiences you're going to find anywhere in Florida and here in Central Florida.
You don't look like the sort of man that would want to go glamping, though. I'm imagining a little fire with just a ground sheet and the stars. Is that right?
Correct. I would be one of those guys that would have done and will do roughing it. Glamping, of course, is for glamorous camping, folks that want to experience camping, but not sleep on the ground and go through all that. Another product we put on the program is called platform tents. We buy the tent. It's up on a platform. You get a grill, a picnic table, and a fire pit. It's still primitive camping, but we have the whole camp set up for you for folks that may want to try it out and they're not sure it's something they want to do again, or just the convenience of having your camp ready when you get here. That's a product that came online back in April, and have already expanded it twice and fixing to do it again.
Excellent. Now, Erica, you look after Bock Tower Gardens. Is that Bock Tower I can see behind you?
This is a virtual view of it. It's not live, but our tower really stands as a beacon for sanctuary. And so we were created in 1929 as a place for humans and wildlife to seek sanctuary. And, a day in the gardens is a great way to relax, recharge, and renew. And so our singing tower kind of sits in the center of our garden. It's our focal showpiece. And it is a musical instrument, not a castle or a tower. It is definitely played live every day at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock with a concert, as well as music throughout the day. So the gardens were created in 1929 by Frederick Law Olmsted Jr., along with Edward Bock, who is our founder. And, it's 50 acres of wonderful, beautiful garden spaces for you to enjoy and relax and kind of lose yourself from all the pressures of the world.
That sounds excellent. I mean, I think the gardens of America are a little underplayed. I've been to several myself, some in near Pennsylvania and some up in the Great Lakes, but generally, though, I think they're underplayed. And I would imagine in Florida, for European visitors, if you go to a garden such as yourself, you're going to experience all sorts of flora and fauna and perhaps wildlife and bird life that you wouldn't normally see in Europe.
Well, we have wildlife and plants that grow here on the Lake Wales Ridge that cannot grow anywhere else in the world. So you're going to really see a unique biodiversity. And that's kind of what makes us very unique from, every garden is different because a garden blooms every single day with new life. And so, when you visit a garden in Pennsylvania, it's going to look one way. Our garden looks very different because of the ecology that surrounds us.
Excellent. Now, Kelly, you are associated with Legoland. I don't think there's anybody, not one human alive in Europe that is not familiar with Lego, and there aren't many people that aren't familiar with Legoland. What does your Legoland offer that might be unique? And apart from the weather, of course, Legoland, where you're from, is probably the weather is a lot better than Legoland Windsor, which is the one I'm familiar with.
It absolutely is, and that's kind of a common thread through all of us talking about Central Florida. The weather is part of every day with us, which is really gorgeous, and we're very lucky. So Lakeland, Florida is the ultimate family destination. We're all about having the vacation be planned by the kids and for the kids. Here in Florida, we have a theme park, a water park, and 3 on-site hotels. What's really great about our water park is that it is heated. So even though Florida is full of sunshine, if it does feel a little bit too cool in the air, the water is still going to be heated to 85 degrees. So you can enjoy the entire resort year round if you wanted to visit us this Christmas season or look forward to 2021. In 2021, we're going to be celebrating our 10th birthday. And the biggest attraction that we're opening with that is an all new water sports stunt show. So that's something you can really only get here at Legoland in Florida. We're situated on the beautiful Lake Eloise, and we have these fantastic Lego characters. They're pirate themed, and they take over and do some really cool, unique stunts on the water that you can't quite see in Windsor, unfortunately. But like Windsor, we have tons of really great rides made for kids to be able to ride and feel like they're driving their first car or driving their first boat and having a really fun kid-first experience.
And like the one at Windsor, do you have a Lego representation of the royal family?
We do not have representation.
No, see, didn't think you would. No, see. You have
However,
to go to Windsor. You have to go to Windsor for that one.
We have our Mini Land USA, and it's all focused on different parts of the USA. So you can walk through Lego replicas of some of the major cities, from New York to our own Florida-based cities. You could visit them all in just a 5-minute walk.
And do you have any Florida Cracker Lego figures?
We do have some Florida cowboy characters.
Excellent. That's what I like. All based around Raymond, modeled on Raymond, I would imagine.
I would love to have her even come over and check them out. It'd be lots.
There you go. There you go.
Might be good to tell them that the cracker come from the crack of the whip. It's where they got the name Cracker from. I forgot to throw that in.
Good. Brian, perhaps you can tell me a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so we were one of the very first software companies that came into the vacation rental market specifically to manage vacation rentals. So we're a software, we provide software solutions to property managers in the industry. We're not property managers, we're the back end. But over the course of the last few years, we've seen a huge demand for a consolidation of units, inventory, into a platform. So over the last year and a half, we've developed a product called Homebeds, and Homebeds is our wholesale department. Basically, we have access to about 25,000 units throughout Central Florida in the United States. And we manage all of the relationships between property managers, the owners, and then the guests as well. So basically, you guys come to us and you say, okay, we want homes in Central Florida, and we open up our network to your teams. We give you everything from live availability to all of the property's information. So it's one central location for you guys to be able to manage all of that inventory.
So if I'm a travel agent in the middle of Manchester, say, I could somehow get access to your inventory on your vacation homes?
Yeah, that's right. So we have a couple different solutions. We have an API-driven solution, so you can do a full integration into our software and pull the inventory live. And that gives you access to everything from pricing to the calendars to all of the content and the photos. And then we also offer login solutions where your agents can actually go into our inventory. We open up a portal, give you guys a website, and then you guys would have access to inventory that we load into those portals.
Very good, very good. Now, Archie, you're a big advantage here, really, aren't you, with the citrus? Because virtually anybody that doesn't live in Florida associates Florida with citrus fruits, orange juice. I mean, that's it. Do you find that a big advantage that people, you know, when they come to Florida, they wonder where the orange juice comes from? Because if they get to Orlando, they don't see any orange groves. Where does the orange juice comes from? And, you know, only, I don't know how far Orlando is by car, but it can't be very long, maybe an hour or so. Is that a big advantage for you?
It's a huge advantage. And from Disney, we're about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on traffic. And we're about 3.5 miles off of Highway 27 in the route to Legoland. So, you know, Legoland's been a huge draw for us, and we've been a huge impact on our local county. But, you know, Florida fresh squeezed orange juice is what people are looking for. And, you know, we still squeeze it straight from the orange. It's 100% all natural, and it's a major draw card for us. Yes.
I quite like orange juice in a mimosa, actually. But we call them over here, we call them Bucks Fizz. I don't know if you knew that. Bucks Fizz is more or less the same as a mimosa. And that's basically champagne and orange juice. So I'll be more than happy to get freshly squeezed Floridian orange juice into my glass of champagne, no problem.
Okay.
I'll volunteer to come and try that one.
Yeah, we've got, well, in fact, I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 volunteers, Archie.
Okay.
You can provide the orange juice and the champagne if you like, and we'll be there.
All right.
Good. Raymond, what's a typical stay for someone that comes? Say, for example, I bought my family. I've got 2 kids. Well, I have, but they're probably older than all of you on the screen, other than myself. But you know, I bring my kids, me and my wife, typical family unit. What's a typical visit to your establishment?
Well, in last year, a typical visit was a Friday through Sunday, but we have just exploded since folks have started looking for alternative vacation experiences due to not only the many variety of accommodations and things that we can offer, but there's just some level of comfort in the, you know, knowing you have 1,700 acres to spread out on. You're not jam-packed in a tight area. But if you were to arrive on a Friday, you're going to have to work hard to do everything we have to offer by the time you check out on Sunday. But of course, the rodeo is only on Saturday night, but that's the highlight of our week. So most folks tend to come Friday, Saturday, and Sunday so that they can catch that rodeo. It's about an hour show with bull riding, barrel racing. We have trick riding, a patriotic tribute to our military and our troops here in the U.S. is always part of our rodeo. But we have, like I say, horseback riding, trap and skeet shooting, archery. We are located on the Kissimmee River. You can fish, you can bring your own boat, you can rent one of our pontoon boats, or you can take a ride on I don't know if folks over there in the UK know what airboats are, but it's a giant boat basically with an airplane engine on it. We have airboat rides up and down the Kissimmee River, and we have this giant vehicle known as a swamp buggy. It's, if you picture a monster truck without the cab on it, is about what a swamp buggy is. And we have the 1,700 acres in the back with a lot of water, a lot of mud for the swamp buggies to ride on. That's real popular with the kids. And another thing that's neat about us, completely surrounding our 1,700 acres, there's a lot of protected Florida wilderness, federal and state land, over 400,000 acres that surrounds us. And we tell folks, if you're looking to get in the middle of nowhere, it starts right here. So we call it making family vacation experiences, one of the most unique places to come.
And do people, you know, for European or international visitors, would they sometimes book in for longer than 3 or 4 nights? Would they book in for a week?
Correct. And Westgate is 29 resorts in 12 states. We have 4 big resorts in Orlando. We find a lot of international guests that will split that split that week or split those 2 weeks. They'll spend part of the time in Orlando, of course, to do the theme park. Some of them go and visit Miss Kelly at Legoland. And we find a lot of folks that will split that time between Orlando and here as well. And we do have several accommodations that are 2-bedroom units, full kitchens that can sleep up to 6 to 8 people, depending on the mix of kids and adults. But we do have accommodations that can put you up for a week or even 2 weeks at a time.
Very good. I personally am very familiar with the airboats. It's one, if you don't put your headphones on, you come off and there's blood coming from your ears. It's so noisy, I think.
Yeah.
So Erica, when I would come to your gardens, do you ever get groups? Do you get people that come along as, you know, their big interest is horticulture and they want to spend hours just going around and looking at, I mean, it sounds like a fairly big place, really.
Well, we have 250 acres, 50
Yeah.
of which are visitors because we are surrounded by a nature preserve. So, you know, just like they were talking about, it really is a natural experience. But if you are a horticulturalist or a gardening fan, you're going to be delighted because we have both manicured gardens, our tropical gardens that were designed by Frederick Law Olmsted Jr., as well as a natural nature trail preserve hiking trails. So you're going to get the best of both worlds. You're going to get that natural experience along with a really beautiful manicured garden experience.
Sounds a contrast to wrestling with alligators.
No, we try to make it as peaceful as possible in our gardens. So no alligator wrestling, but we are a bird sanctuary. So you're going to see lots of birding species.
Excellent. Now, Kelly, I suppose with Legoland, you've been doing a lot of investment during the summer about making sure all the protocols, queuing, spacing, all that sort of stuff. That's typical. When we get into next year, you mentioned some new rides. Perhaps you just give me a little bit more detail about this. I forget what you called it. Was it a water fight? I think it was a bit more involved than a water fight.
It's Brickbeard's water sports stunt show. So
That was
Brickbeard is our hero Lego pirate, and he is taking pirate recruits kind of through their ultimate training on the water. So we feature water skiers, an all new stunt with a flyboard, which if you've never seen a flyboard, it's kind of as you would picture a board, but it's propelled by water that circulates through a jet ski. So this performer athlete can get up 100 feet in the air on this cord and does all sorts of flips, trips, what's called a dolphin dive in and out of the water. Some really cool things. So that kind of rounds out your family experience. So kids can have their my first roller coaster ride and then see this really fun show. And then again, throughout the year, it's our 10th birthday next year. So we're going to have something to celebrate, from special Lego activations throughout the park to help rebuild the worlds through Lego, all the way to celebrate the Friends brand through Lego and such.
Excellent, excellent. I mean, I would imagine that anybody comes to Central Florida in a family, virtually everybody goes to Legoland, don't they?
We'd love to feel that way for sure. Yes, we like to really make it easy. Sometimes when you're planning that, idea of the Florida Orlando vacation, it can be very stressful because you have to remember to book which rides you want to ride, where you want to go, where you want to eat. And at Legoland, we try to make it as easy as possible. Down to the hotel rooms have kid-sized peek holes in the door so kids feel like they're part of it with their parents. Even the potties have toddler potty seats in the rooms. The rooms have separate sleeping areas from the adults to the kids, and the kids, of course, have a bunk bed. That's a really big deal to any 6-year-old. So it's all about just kind of making it easier on the family and making safety fun, because as you said, in this new world, it can be scary to kids to not understand and to feel so many rules throughout the day of don't touch this, don't do that. So we make it fun. We have these beautiful giant red Lego brick markers on the ground. And instead of saying, don't stand on those, stay 6 feet away, we say, jump on those. Those are your markers. Go from this one to that one and turn it into a game so that it can be fun and still feel like a day out with your family enjoying the Florida weather.
Cool. Now, Brian, have you noticed most of the research would suggest that people want to go, they would be happy to stay in vacation homes, they'd be happy to go glamping, they'd like to be under their own control. Have you noticed an increase in demand for your properties in the last 6 months?
Yeah, it's been pretty incredible, especially talking to different industry partners. vacation rentals is really sought after now. So people want to stay in individual homes. We have all of the amenities available for the guests. And we've also instituted some new protocols for cleaning, for example, so people feel safe, touchless systems to get into the houses. So we're working with a lot of the associations to make sure that the guests that do arrive at the houses feel safe, they feel comfortable, and they have everything that they need when it comes to all of the guest experience and guest expectations. So we work with a lot of the parks. We also work with a lot of other hospitality folks in our local areas. We're very entrenched in the Central Florida market. We are based out of Orlando. So we work very closely with our partners to be able to bring the entire experience in-house. We want to make sure that the guests are arriving at a clean house, and then they have access to everything they need: restaurants, attractions, local amenities. So it's been an interesting exercise. We have seen a massive influx of people transitioning from hotels specifically to the vacation rental, just because they want to be a little bit more segregated than, having rooms next to each other.
Very good. Well, from my perspective, it sounds like an ideal place in Florida to come visit. You've got Orlando on one side, you've got Tampa on the other, and you have all these fabulous attractions and places to stay and places to be entertained. I mean, Central Florida is pretty much, it's got everything that anybody would want in terms of a family vacation at the moment. Absolutely everything. So I'd just like to thank you all for spending the time, which is still your morning, my afternoon, and telling me about your business. And I wish you the very, very best of luck for the remainder of this year, but more especially for the return of international visitors in 2021. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Good night.